everyone, it's Mrs. Cafiero, and today we're going to be talking about Module 2, Lesson 5. This is the last lesson for our standards MD 1.1 and MD 1.2. Today we are going to use addition and subtraction to solve multi-step word problems involving length, mass, and capacity. The materials that you need for today's lesson are pencil, paper, and your math workbook. Go ahead and pause the video now to gather your materials. Now that we have our materials, let's go ahead and get started. So today's going to be a little bit different. We are going to be working through the first 3 problems of the problem set together. And for your independent work, you're going to be doing problems 4 through 6 on your own. So for today's lesson, you will need your math workbook. You'll need to turn to Module 2, page 21 for our lesson today. So let's go ahead and get started with problem number 1. Problem number 1 reads, the potatoes Beth bought weighed 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Her onions weighed 1,050 grams less than the potatoes. How much did the potatoes and onions weigh together? So the first thing we need to do is we need to pull out our information, the important information. First thing, we need to know how much the potatoes weigh. They weigh 3 kilograms, 420 grams. The onions weigh 1,050 grams less than the potatoes. So already we have our first problem. 3 kilograms, 420 grams minus 1,050 grams. Once we have that answer, then we can add the onions and potatoes together and get our final answer. So we are going to go ahead and solve step 1, which is the 3 grams, 420 grams minus the 1,050 grams for the onions. So let's go ahead and get that written down. 3 kilograms, 420 grams, 1,050 grams. Now, there's a couple ways that you can solve this. We can either convert everything to the same unit, or we can use the simplifying strategy. I'll show you how to do both. So if we convert, then we need to put these 3 kilograms into grams. We know that 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So 3 kilograms will equal 3,000 grams. And then we just add what we already have here to that number, and we get 3,420 grams minus 1,050 grams. Now, before we solve, let's go ahead and talk about how to do the simplifying strategy. If we did it that way, we would write out 3 kilograms, 420 grams, and 1,050 grams. Now, you can't subtract 1,050 grams from 420 grams, so we would have to go ahead and regroup one of these kilograms into grams. And if we do it that way, it should look like this, where all you had to do was take one of these kilograms, add it to the grams here in the thousands place, because 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. So now for both these strategies, we can solve. So for the top strategy here, 0 minus 0 is 0. 2 minus 5, we can't do that, so we have to regroup. 12 minus 5 is 7. 3 minus 0 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So the onions are 2,370 grams. If we do the second strategy, we have 0 minus 0 is 0. We have to regroup. That's 7. That's 3. And then 2 minus what is essentially 0 is 2. So 2 kilograms, 370 grams. So we know that the onions equal 2 kilograms, 370 grams. And the potatoes are 3 kilograms, 420 grams. Now, the original question asked us, how much did the potatoes and onions weigh together? So we need to take the amount here that we got for the onions and potatoes and add them together. So when we do that, we can do 3 kilograms, 420 grams, 2 kilograms, 370 grams. We can just add that together and essentially treat it as two separate problems. So let's add the grams together first. 0 plus 0 is 0. 2 plus 7 is 9. 4 plus 3 is 7, so 790 grams. And 3 plus 2 is 5 kilograms. So our final answer is 5 kilograms, 790 grams. That's how much the potatoes and onions weigh together. All right, moving on to problem number 2. It reads, Adele let out 18 meters, 46 centimeters of string to fly her kite. She then let out 13 meters, 78 centimeters more before reeling back in 590 centimeters. How long was her string after reeling it in? So first we need to pull out our information. So the first let out, the first time she put out the kite, it was 18 meters, 46 centimeters. Then she let out an additional 13 meters, 78 centimeters. So we will take the original amount that she let it out and add that 13 meters, 78 centimeters and get our mystery number. Once we have our mystery number, then we can subtract how much she reeled it in, and we'll have our answer of how long was her string after she reeled it in. So let's go ahead and do this part here. We've got 18 meters, 46 centimeters, 13 meters, 78 centimeters. We're going to add these two together. And again, we can treat this like two separate problems. So we've got 8 plus 6, which is 14. 4 down here, regroup the 1. That's 12. So we've got 124 centimeters here and 11, regroup that, 31 meters. Now, we know that 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. So we're going to have to actually regroup this to take 100 of these centimeters away and add it to our meters on this side. So that will actually give us 32 meters and 24 centimeters. Okay? Now that we know how much total the string was let out, then we can find out how long it was after we reeled in our special amount of 590 centimeters. So we're going to take this on the next slide and we're going to solve. So we've got 32 meters, 24 centimeters. 32 meters, 4 centimeters, 590 centimeters. Now, you could convert everything and then subtract, but a slightly easier way is going to be with the simplifying strategy. So if we just set this up as subtraction, okay, we can't do 24 minus 590. So what we're actually going to need to do here is borrow enough meters and convert them into centimeters to be able to subtract properly. So in order to do that, we're going to have to borrow at least 6 meters to equal 600 centimeters. So 32 minus 6, that'll give us 26 meters and 600 centimeters over here. So that gives us 624 centimeters minus the 590. So 4 minus 0 is 4. We can't do 2 minus 9, so we have to regroup. (12 minus 9 is 3. 5 minus 5 is 0. And then this just goes down to 26. So our final answer here is 26 meters and 34 centimeters. That's how long the string was after it was reeled in slightly. All right, let's move on to problem number 3. This is the last problem we're going to do together. It says Cheyenne's barrel contained 6 liters, 775 milliliters of paint. She poured in 1 liter, 118 milliliters more. The first day, Cheyenne used 2 liters, 125 milliliters of the paint. At the end of the second day, there were 1,769 milliliters of paint remaining in the barrel. How much paint did Cheyenne use on the second day? So this is going to be a multiple step problem, not just a two-step problem. So with pulling out our information, we know that the paint barrel started with 6 liters, 775 milliliters. Then she added to it. So she added 1 liter, 118 milliliters to that. So let's go ahead and solve that part. 6 liters, 775 milliliters plus 1 liter, 118 milliliters. Let's just go ahead and add that together so we can get our total amount. This is 13, so carry the 1, 9, 8, and 7. So the paint barrel, after she poured in the extra amount, was 7 liters, 893 milliliters. After day 1, she had used 2 liters, 125 milliliters. So we are going to take this amount here that we got for how much we started in the barrel and subtract how much she used after day 1. So let's change our color. Minus 2 liters, 125 milliliters. Okay? So we can go ahead and subtract this. Let's see, we can't do 3 minus 5, so we have to regroup. That's 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. Minus 1 is 7. And 7 minus 2 is 5. So after day 1, we have 5 liters, 768 milliliters left. But then it says for day 2, she had 1,769 milliliters left in the paint barrel. How much did she use? So what we are going to do on our next slide is we're going to take the amount that we have here and we're going to subtract what she had remaining in the paint barrel to figure out how much did she use on that second day. So that is 5 liters, 768 milliliters, 1,769 milliliters. Now, in order to subtract this, we're going to have to borrow a liter and convert it into a milliliter. Or you could convert all of this into milliliters and then subtract. I'm going to show you both ways. So for the first way is we're going to borrow. This turns to 4. This adds 1,000. So we can just go ahead and subtract like this. 8 minus 9, can't do that. So that turns into a 5. That turns into an 18. It's 9. Can't do that. So 15 minus 6. That's 9. 6 minus 7. Can't do that, so that goes to a 0. This goes to a 16. It's a 9. 0 minus 1, can't do that, so that turns to a 3. We add another 1,000. That goes to a 0. And then 3 minus 0 is 0. So you should get 999, no, that goes to a 3. 3 liters, 999 milliliters. All right, let's convert. So we've got 5,768, 1,769, 18, that's 9, 6, 9, it's 204, 15, that's 9, 3. So if you converted everything first, you'd get 3,999 milliliters. If you did not convert everything and you did it as liters and milliliters, you'd get 3 liters, 999 milliliters. And that is how much she used on day 2. Either one of these would be correct. All right, so for your problem set, you're going to be in Module 2, page 22. You only have must-dos today. That's numbers 4, 5, and 6. They are all word problems. So make sure that you identify what your amounts are and what they're asking you, and make sure that you are writing your units. Then you need to do your exit ticket. Now, it is only one question, so please take your time and check your work before you submit it. It is under the assignments tab in the general channel. And if you have any questions, let me know on your private channel.